Hi, let's discuss about the custom validations in React.js. So far in our registration form, we have done some basic validation for whether email is required, phone number is required, or username is required. We need to go and enhance those validations. For example, what are the custom validations? Like email is a valid email, phone number should be a valid phone number. So why it is important? So implementing these custom validations ensure that whatever the data we are collecting, for example, if it's a credit card, it's a valid credit card. If it's a phone, it's a valid phone. If it's an email, it's a valid email. So that we can avoid the errors in processing the data. Again, when this should be done at the time of user input only. So whenever we are trying to collect the input from the user, so we prevent from the entry point itself, so that user enters the valid email, user enters the valid phone number, and even it will give a good experience also. Yes, if I enter the email, if it is wrong, it can give a right feedback to the user. Again, as per the security, if you don't validate the inputs for the valid email format, valid credit card, it will not abide to the compliance, and it may create issues when we are trying to process the data on the server side. Okay, so as I said, like in case if you process the data at the input side itself, so you don't have to worry about handling them at the runtime errors on the server side and fall into the issues, and sometimes it may crash and it may go on issues at the server side when you're trying to process. So it should be always a good practice to get the right input according to the expectation from the end user input itself. So what we do to our form? So far we are checking whether email is required, but now what we do is we'll ensure that we add a validations to check whether it's a valid email. At the same time, phone number. So we will ensure that okay, phone number contains 10 digit and password. So we have not had password field, so we are going to add the password field to our form and ensure that it should be minimum of 8 characters, and it should contain at least one number and one special character. So that's what we are going to do it. And in case if the user doesn't enter the input accordingly, then we are going to show a visual feedback in the error messages saying that okay, yes, if the password is invalid, for which reason it is invalid, for the phone number is invalid, for which reason it is invalid. Let's switch back to our Visual Studio Code to do the demo on this. Okay, before that, so in our examples, we are going to use a couple of regular expressions, and these regular expressions are very standard, not only specific to the JavaScript and React.js, any C# or any other programming language you want to use, regular expressions are available. So what is the use of regular expressions? So regular expression, if you want to be a valid email, it will ensure that yes, it has some special pattern written. Okay, it should start with any text, and it should contain at, it should contain .com or .in, and again if it is a phone number, it should contain the 9 digits, should start with 0 to 9, and it can contain to $10. So I have given the links in the PPT to do more about your hands-on trying different regular expressions. For some of the standards like credit card, passport number, PAN number, you don't have to do yourself because you can Google it, or otherwise use any AI tool to get the regular expression for you. That should work out. Okay, so why I'm informing is we are going to have a couple of regular expressions written, and we are not going to expect too deep into that what exactly they are trying to do it. You can use this thing to learn about them. So let's jump into the demo. Let's go back to our Visual Studio Code. Okay, so here is our previous registration form where we have only the basic validations. What we are going to do, we are going to refactor the example to do the custom validation. Okay, let's quickly brief what exactly we are going to do it. First, we are going to add password field, okay, to the form. Then we'll add the validator with the password field required. It should be minimum of 8 characters, and it should contain what is the thing? It should contain one number and one special character. So this is the validation. And again we will add validations for email to be valid email. At the same time we'll update phone to be required and a valid phone number, and name field, like it is just a required field and we don't have to capture those things. Okay, there. Okay, anyways, if you want, we can capture it whether it should have minimum of 3 characters or not. Okay, so first let's go and try to add the password field. Okay, yes, we added to the password field to their form. At the same time we added the phone number password field to the error messages. Now what we do so far, we have the display only for the um, name, email, phone number. Now let's go and try to do this for the password also. So here we are going to add the password. So let's go and, yeah. So here we added the label for the password, and we are reusing the same styles, and we are saying it as of type password, and we are applying the same classes. And whenever you have on change, it should not be not on phone change. We should have our own method called handle password change. Means what we exactly we do, whenever password changes, we have to go and update our state value. So for that we already have the name change and email change, right? Okay, now we'll go and try to have the password change. Like if we password change, what exactly we do, we will take our previous state and go and update the password with the new value that has been retrieved. So this we have done already. Okay, now what exactly we need to do? So in this handle submit, we want to do the custom validation. So far we are using only the name is required, email is required, phone is required, but every time we are trying to directly go and update the state, error state. But this will be little difficult because we are be checking it is required also, it should be valid email also, it should be valid phone number also. So what we do is we'll try to do a little different mechanism here. Okay, so I'm going to create a new object called as constant new errors. Okay, constant new errors. Okay, this will be an object which internally contains all empty fields for us. Now what we are going to do, if the username is not required, we are going to say username is not required, and if the username is less than 3, we can just say that okay, yes, name should be minimum of 3 characters length. Now we'll go for our email. If the email is not available, we'll just say the email is required. And in case if email doesn't include, so here one thing is you are just checking only whether it includes or not. What we do, we'll go and try to get the regular expression to validate. Okay, yeah, I'll try to, yeah, so you can put this as else if conditions are in the if condition. I'll try to go and put else if. Okay, yeah, it should be a valid email or not. So this regular expressions, you can go through the reference links which I have given over there. Now we can go and check for the phone number. Okay, sorry. So phone number, again we'll check if the phone number is not empty, we'll just won't say it is required. Otherwise we have to again check whether the phone number is a valid phone number or not. Means it should have a regular expression to have at least minimum of 10 digits. Okay, and this is the validations for our the post phone number. And again we added the password. If the we made the password also is required field. And at the same time we have a regular expression to say that okay, it should contain minimum of 8 characters, should contain one number, should contain one special characters and all those stuff. So this is the validations for that, and we are trying to put the validations accordingly over here. Okay, so yeah, it is creating a regular expression for us to have one number, one special character, one lowercase and one uppercase. So that's the reason if you see here, it is uppercase, it is lowercase, should have a minimum of 8 characters, one special characters here, and one number. So this is the regular expression. Now, yeah, once we have done, so what we'll do is we'll go and finally update our state. Okay, so this final object is going to update the state. And what we do is, in case if there are, if at least one error is containing, we are going to return it as a false. Means we don't want to submit the form. So let's try to run our example. Yeah, it is already running. Go and bring back our application with localhost 3000. Yes, we have the validations are there. So now we know that whenever you click on, you are getting corresponding, like name must be required, email is required, phone is required, and password should have minimum of these things. Now let me go and try to enter this. Now if you click on register, yeah, the first error message has been gone. So now I'm going to take I'll just put only this, and if you see now the error message has been changed to email is not valid, and I try to enter only couple of characters for the phone number, and if you click it says phone number is not valid, previously it is coming as the required message. Okay, let me enter characters for that. Now if we coming to the password, yes, I'll try to enter some password. It isn't hand all those things. It will still show that password mark contents. Okay. So now I'm entering the password with all that combination included, and it should not show that error for us. Okay. Now, yeah, it still shows data and it's, yeah, we can go and put that. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to debug and demonstrate how these validations are happening. We'll go to sources and go to our registration dot js. So let's go to our form submission here, so we can go and keep the breakpoints accordingly and try to form and try to, I think we have already seen for submission. Yeah, if you see here, as the name is empty, you're going to get the name as required, and we are trying to validate for all the different things. Let's go with this round and go back to our thing. So now I'll go and try to enter more than 3 characters and try to submit the form again. When I try to submit the form, so now at this moment you can see whether name field has been entered. Yes, it is containing, so it will skip that logic, and again, yeah, name length of the name is, yeah, greater than 5. It will skip that logic. Now email is not entered, so it will go and try to validate email is required field. Now what I do here, I'll try to enter some invalid email until here and try to click on register and try to jump to the code directly to the email. Yes, email field has been entered. Now if you go to the next line, so now it is checking whether the email is containing a valid email or not. So as email is not valid email, it was throwing a error message. So it will go and show the error message over here. So what exactly we have done, let me summarize. So previously our example is containing only the basic validations like email is required, phone number is required. So went and enhanced to include custom validations, so for checking whether email is a valid email, phone number is a valid phone number, password should contain so and so special characters. And again, if you may end up in like to validate for credit card, phone number, other number, like that, so you should be able to use those custom validations in your applications. Okay, and again we added the password field and did the validations over there. Okay, so as I said, from the security perspective, compliance perspective, validating the input that user is giving the right format, it will help us from the security compliance purpose, and again parsing errors at the server side.